Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm News 8 meteorologist Ashley Baylor. Welcome to our little stream center here at News 8. This is something new that we're going to be doing every day. I'm going to be the host of this little streaming series that we have going on here. We're going to do a deep dive into weather. We're going to talk about the current conditions and what's coming down the pike, but sometimes we're going to throw in some fun things. We're going to throw in something about animals. Sometimes we'll talk about sports. We're going to cover a little bit of everything. Today, we're going to keep it to weather because, hey, this is brand new to me. This is brand new to you. Let's just kind of get our feet wet with all of this. But, of course, let's talk about my specialty. That is weather. And, boy, it has been super dry lately. I mean, we were coming off such a warm week last week. Over the weekend, things cooled down a little bit. Even today, it's been rather chilly outside. But more importantly, we need the rain here. I mean, look at this. We are back under an elevated fire risk today, and not just us, but, you know, Massachusetts and Rhode Island as well. We've been hearing about brush fires popping up all across New England and New York, so we are in desperate need for a drink of water, and really not just a slight drink of water. We really could use 2 to 3 days of a good soaking rain to really absorb into the ground. So let's take a closer look here. So we've been talking about this elevated fire risk, but let's talk about our drought status as well. You can see most of the state is considered abnormally dry, but up towards the northern fringe of Connecticut, we are under a moderate drought. Then you get down to the southern tip of Fairfield County, that's also under a moderate drought. Look up towards Boston. They're under a severe drought. So it's not just us that need the rain. We really need it across much of New England. And unfortunately, there's just been no soaking rain in sight. We need a little more than just these occasional passing showers. Well, throughout the year, through much of the year, we've been talking about how we have a surplus of rain. Okay, well, how does that work? We have a surplus of rain, but it's so dry to the point that we're now under drought conditions. Well, let's talk about the soil moisture issue. If you were to go to the surface of the ground and you drilled down about 3 feet deep, the current soil moisture would only be about 0 to 10%. So that's why I keep emphasizing, and I've been doing this for about 2 weeks, that we need 2 to 3 days of a good soaking rain because we need that rain to absorb into the ground. Because if you get a lot of rain all at once, it just runs off. It really doesn't get a chance to absorb. So a consistent absorbing rain. That's what we desperately need here in Connecticut, but spoiler alert, it's not exactly in our 8-day forecast. But let's talk about what's coming up in our immediate future. Let's talk about what's going on for the rest of today. So we're going to be looking at partly sunny skies. So we're going to be seeing more clouds and sun at times, really a mixture of high and mid-level clouds. But notice only faint splashes of green popping up as we head into this evening and overnight. Most of the shower action will be up in Massachusetts, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility, of a stray sprinkle or stray shower, mostly across the northern fringe of Connecticut overnight, but really most of us will stay dry. Now, of course, tomorrow, Election Day. I don't know how the day is going to go, but I can tell you weather-wise, it's actually going to be a pretty calm and not to mention warm day. So tomorrow, winds are going to switch out of the southwest, so that's going to draw in that mild air. So we'll be back into the sunshine. Temperatures are going to surge into the lower 70s across the state. So I will say at this point, you at least can't blame the weather for not getting out to the polls to vote. It's actually going to be a very nice day. As we head into Wednesday, things are going to stay relatively calm. We really don't have much to talk about other than the fact that temperatures will be running above average for the rest of the week. But here's a quick reminder that we are still technically in hurricane season, and we really can get tropical activity any time of the year. Yes, even in January, because nobody is going to tell Mother Nature when she can and cannot form a tropical system. Technically, you're more likely to see that tropical activity between June 1st to November 30th. That's our hurricane season. And yep, this is a gentle reminder that we're still in that window. So we have Tropical Depression 18, which is just south of Jamaica there. Winds are sustained at 35 miles per hour. This system is moving north at 9 miles per hour. And as I show you the latest track here, it has the potential to gain some strength and become a tropical storm before the day is over. Now, as this kind of runs over Jamaica and towards the western end of Cuba, it will likely strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane. And even as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, at this point, it's expected to maintain Category 1 strength. But then look what happens potentially over the weekend. It could weaken down to a tropical storm. Now, that's not something we talk about very often. more often we talk about these hurricanes moving into the Gulf of Mexico and feeding off of that warm water to the point we usually see rapid intensification. At least over the past few years, we've seen rapid intensification. This is kind of going the other way. Well, it's going to be running into a lot of dry air, and hurricanes, they really can't do well or gain any strength without feeding off that warm water and running into that moist air. So when you have dry air, it basically wants to tear it apart. So that'll be interesting to see if that actually comes to fruition. Of course, we don't want to see any systems in the Gulf of Mexico after this has been a relatively active couple of months with hurricanes, especially with Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton affecting Florida. At this point, this one, which will be given the name Rafael, is not expected to affect Florida, except maybe the panhandle there. But we'll definitely keep an eye on things. But, that's really the last thing we want to see is any more tropical activity move into the Gulf. So tonight, closer to home, we'll have passing clouds. It is going to be mostly dry again, other than maybe a stray sprinkle or two. Tomorrow, a few clouds, but noticeably warmer. We'll have that wind surging out of the south, pushing temperatures into the lower 70s. So here's a look at your 8-day shoreline forecast. It is going to be beautiful through Wednesday. I hope you have a chance to get out and enjoy it. Once you're done with work, once you're done with school, really take advantage of that. But it's going to stay nice through Thursday into Friday, even though temperatures are technically going to come down. We're going to be in the mid to upper 60s on Thursday. We'll be in the lower 60s on Friday. Typically for this time of year, we should be in the upper 50s, which is where we will eventually land going into the upcoming weekend. Saturday, we're looking at lots of sunshine. Now, by Sunday, we are going to see increasing clouds, and there will be a chance of rain as we head through Sunday evening, through Sunday night, and potentially into Monday morning. But notice that's really the only thing we have for rain over the next 8 days, and that is not even going to put the slightest dent in our drought, unfortunately. So as far as the rain situation goes, things are not looking great for us. Yes, great for any outdoor activities because there are still some fairs and festivals going on. We are still in that season as well. If we're going to get rain, let's hope we at least get it during the week. But we are parched at this point. We at least need, even one day of a soaking rain would be good. 2 or 3 would be awesome. 1, we would certainly take it. But notice temperatures are going to stay seasonal to above average for the next 8 days. So dry, running above average. These are things we don't typically talk about in November. So we're kind of doing this November, September style here. And hey, if you have to get there and out there and rake the leaves, well, at least the weather is going to cooperate for that. A little bit of a breeze at time, but nothing you can't handle. All right, so this is how it's going to be. And again, at times I'll throw in, some animal facts, or we'll talk about animals, or we'll talk about sports. I mean, we're coming off a wild football weekend. Have you been seeing all of the upside down pictures posted of St. Brown on the Lions? And, if you're a Patriots fan like me, the last 4 seconds of regular time on Sunday, whew, I mean, that took 4 years off my life, the last 4 seconds. But we'll talk about fun stuff like this. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it moving. So I hope you tune in tomorrow at 3 o'clock. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, guys.